This is an Audio Wool original.
It's the most wonderful pod.
It's the most wonderful pod.
It's the most wonderful pod of the year.
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, we're back, Jackie, and you know we love a good sister Christmas movie.
Oh my gosh, I love Sisters and Christmas.
So nice they made it twice upon a Christmas, a TV movie direct to your television. You know we love them, you know we're going to watch them. How are you doing, Jackie? After this, did you miss your sister?
Thank you. Well, I thought about my sister. I think the only reason why I didn't miss her was because the sisters in this movie they don't like each other. So it didn't make me, luckily for me, I wasn't reminded of my sister and my relationship.
Yeah, good.
But other than that, I am feeling very excited because Ross, we have a special guest.
This person
And-
is very special. He loves Christmas. He is raring to go.
He loves Christmas. He loves podcasts. He also has been on this podcast before.
Watching what?
Sorry?
Did he watch? Oh, he watched the one before this. We have the
Yes,
same person
we watched, yes.
once and twice. Okay, so this is going to be good.
Exactly.
I got a good
because
feeling about
this is a
today.
sequel, and we watched the first one with this star of Paramount Plus's Blood and Treasure, co-host of We Got This with Mark and Hal podcast for movie lovers, or probably a lot of lovers, not just movies. Kitchen Appliances lovers, everything. Guys, please welcome back Mark Gagliardi.
Hello! This is exciting. Oh, God, I'm so nervous. This movie.
Nervous?
Oh, God, this movie. This movie gives me
I
such
understand
anxiety.
the nerves.
Well,
I didn't know
there's
it was
one
gonna give me
particular
anxiety.
cameo that gives me a lot of anxiety.
Which I think I blew it. I texted Jackie a little too early. Because I texted her, she was like, "This is crazy. I forgot her name is Rudolpha." I go, "Guess who shows up?" And I texted her, and she goes, "Ross, I laughed so hard." We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, I need
Doesn't
to.
just show up, becomes at the end, like a major player in this
Yeah.
conspiracy,
Right.
in this.
Right.
I have a bug bite.
Oh no! Take care
Everybody
of it.
stop the presses.
Okay, we're paused.
Yeah.
We have to pause.
Do you need me to hit pause on my end as well?
Let's pause.
Okay, pausing.
Stop the presses. I have a mosquito bite. That's not a surprise. I'm an absolute magnet. It's my great metabolism.
And we're back. We had to pause for 3 days, and now we're re-recording.
Great. Mine's
3
going
days
too.
break.
Are we going to get a water break in here? Because I don't even need
just
food,
clap.
just a water break.
We clapped. We synced it up. Let me ask everyone a question, and I want your gut reaction. What year was this made?
2001.
All right, you looked it up. It looked like it was made in like 97. It was 2001.
Yeah.
You got
guys
that
nailed
right?
it. Yeah, you guys nailed it.
Well, the first one was
We must
97,
have
right?
heard it somewhere
The first one
else.
was 97, and they waited a few years because I think the public wasn't loud enough.
Right.
And then in 2000, the public got a little loud, a
Yeah.
little rumbly, and said we need to make this. IMDb says this about Twice Upon a Christmas, made in 2001. It's an hour 30. 90 minutes is a perfect time for a movie.
Oh my god.
When the North Pole faces destruction at the hands of Santa Claus's malicious daughter, her long-lost sister must travel home and save Christmas. It's a comedy, drama, and family. Out of 10, what do we give this? And now just remember, 657 people commented in IMDb.com, which you have to
Commented.
log in.
Yeah.
You have to log in with your email to comment on IMDb.
Commented.
And they rated this out of 10. Mark, our guest, would you like to go first?
This is what my guess is as to what this movie is rated on IMDb, or what my personal out
Yeah.
of 10 is.
What you
On IMDb.
What you think IMDb gave it?
I think it is. I'm going to guess a 7.5, between 7.5 and 8.
Jackie.
I'm gonna say it's a 3.7.
We have two different hearts in the conversation right now. A large, warm heart and a cold, E.T. looking heart. When he's like in the dry riverbed, that's what your heart looks
Yeah.
like, Jackie. 5.3, right down the middle.
Wow.
Right down the
Right
middle.
down the middle.
Meet us in the middle.
Interesting.
Right down the middle. We have Kathy Ireland back
Okay.
as Kristen.
What a delight she is.
She's charming and wonderful. Sure. Or is Kristen Claus charming and wonderful?
I don't know. Maybe I think there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of Kathy bleeding through.
Oh yeah.
Here's my question, just right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
Was she this? And I hate saying this word, stupid in the first movie, or is she just from a different world? Is she? Is
I think
that the
that
vibe?
she was this stupid.
Okay.
I think all she knew was Christmas, and
Yeah.
if that's taken away from her, then all she knows is taken away from her, which leads to her being really, really stupid in this. And also,
Like
Santa
the last
is
movie, I don't
super
think she
stupid in
could
this.
open up like a jar.
Yeah,
Remember?
Yeah.
that's right. That jar of peaches she could.
Santa is unfortunately demented in
Oh,
this,
man.
I think. I think he's a little senile and it's sad.
It's rough.
Which is nice. Well, not that is nice, but the movie starts off. We go right into, hey, even if you haven't seen this movie, we got you, because we're going to explain the whole movie to you in the first minute and a
I
half.
love a recap. I love a swift recap in a sequel. I will say this. I liked the recap. I haven't watched the first movie since we all watched it for the pod. So it's been quite some time. And yet, I still, while watching it, was like, this doesn't match with the, this isn't consistent with what they set up in the first. And I don't know how those memories came flooding back to me. For example, her magic was taken away as an agreement in order for her to become mortal and stay with this family in the first movie. And then all of a sudden she remembers Santa and then she gets her magic back. Like, I understand her getting her memory back because of triggers. I don't understand getting magic back.
I think you're right. It is the ultimate sacrifice to be with the mortal, but the magic isn't explained because the cookies happen.
Right.
But she didn't think about, and the cookies happen, and the pen, and one other thing happened, but the cookie and pen thing are totally different.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like for the pen thing, when the DMV scene, which was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
She just thought about a pen. As she was looking for a pen, she was thinking about a pen, and it floated up. I forget another movie that does that too, where it's like
Accio pen, all of the Harry Potter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with the maybe the cookies thing works as well with the thought, but it's she was about to get it and then she put it back down. She touched it. So I thought if she touches it first, then the magic can happen.
We are asked to
I
suspend
don't
so
know.
much more disbelief in this movie than we are in the first one.
Yes.
The first movie
Yeah.
asks a lot of us, and this one's like, okay, if you're willing to buy that being in a script, how about this?
Yeah, the first one tells us to ask the questions, and then this one is like we have to come up with the questions.
Yeah, what is happening in this? The magic in this movie is bonkers. Santa not
And we have
putting
to answer.
together that the place is disappearing, and also his daughter's doing infomercials. Like, what are we being asked to believe in this movie?
What are the rules of this world?
Yeah.
We don't know the rules. They're ever changing.
Yeah. Santa doesn't know the rules because in the second scene, he goes into the stables and is like, "Are you sorry?" And she's like, "Yes, sorry I got caught." And then Santa's like, "Okay, you're forgiven. Now you don't." Okay.
But what does that mean? So now she's in charge of nothing. She has no responsibility. She's just immediately, ransacking the North Pole. Buy a piece of the pole.
I mean, loyal to the pole.
We're talking Rudolph.
Rudolph is loyal to the
How dare
pole.
we? Loyal to-
I mean,
Different Santa.
very different Santa.
I was so confused. I was like, "Oh, we have a different Santa." That was my first. My first note was paper fight.
Paper fight.
Oh, my first note was, look at this CGI book. Good
Oh,
God.
wow. I mean, from the very beginning, y'all couldn't get a real book.
as the
Nope.
recap is going, this insane CGI book that has everything is so blurry. It's not just that, like, it's not that the you know, the technology wasn't there. The technology was there.
It was
Like,
2001.
this doesn't-
Yeah. In L.A.
Good, yeah,
You'll be
like just
fine.
get a real book. Turn real pages.
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
I mean,
This is 1 year later after the first movie that ends, you know, with the big house
them
fire
burning down
and-
a whole house.
and Kristen Claus, you know, agreeing that her memory of everything, her magical powers, her ability to communicate even with her family, her memory of her family is going to be gone so that she can stay with this mortal man who we find out in this movie is perhaps holding her hostage.
The vibe, okay, the vibe is there's this beautiful woman is in my house. I can't let her out. I can't let her out of my sights. If she's gonna find someone more handsome, I can't believe this woman loves me. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it.
I
was
can't
gonna
believe
wait.
I found a beautiful woman who's dumb as bricks.
Holy cow. Yeah.
She doesn't know how to
Lucky
drive
me.
and makes cookies. The perfect woman.
She'll stay right here. She doesn't even know how to drive.
I'm gonna say it. I was gonna wait, but I'll say it now. Way too much kissing in this movie. This guy loved the kissing scenes.
He did love the kissing scenes. Well, he's starring in a movie with Kathy Ireland. Who
That's
he
true.
probably
That's
had
true.
the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue with her on the cover for several years in a row and was like, I'm going to kiss
Wow.
Kathy Ireland in a movie. That said, though, when he goes in to kiss her, like their first big moment kiss of the thing, he goes in and kisses her on the cheek. It's like, why is he kissing her on the cheek?
The supple cheek.
I mean,
Guys, everyone's back. The kid, except for the real Santa.
Yeah.
Everyone's back. Kristen's still with the family, having that wrapping paper fight with the kids. Like,
Yeah.
my God, these three love each other. The wacky uncle is back. He is still mooching. He is still wearing vests.
Yeah.
This time, he doesn't know how to talk. This time, he barely says a word.
he also throws Cheetos in a paper fight. He's like, "Oh, are we having a paper fight?" And then he starts throwing
Offensive.
Cheetos. It's like, that's not the rules that
doesn't
were
that
established.
kinda make
Yeah.
sense?
We don't know what
Now-
the rules of this world are.
Now that you think about the consistency of a puffed Cheeto,
Yeah,
are you like, yeah, I could believe there's some paper in that.
that's
I can
fair.
believe that. You know, so like everything's cool on Earth, and then meanwhile, this is my favorite. This was my favorite part, perhaps, of the whole
Yeah.
movie. In the North Pole, Rudolpha is like mucking up the reindeer stalls, and she eats it on a giant pile of what can only be described as human feces,
Yep.
because we all know that deer poo out little pellets.
Yeah.
We know that. That's like the one animal shit that you know is deer tiny little pellets.
Yeah.
And yet like a 2-foot pile of
Well, and also, wouldn't she
human
know
dog
that
and dog shit.
she would know that that's not deer scat because she turns into a deer at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
She'll find out soon enough.
Ay, ay, ay.
Have you ever actually on Instagram? They'll like, I love animal videos, so you know the algorithm knows me now.
Yeah.
And have you actually seen a video of a deer pooping the pellets?
Yeah, it looks like it
looks
looks like a conveyor
like-
belt, like they're shooting them out.
Well, that's what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a paintball gun, like
Yeah.
but instead it looks like somebody took a katana and then sliced a gumball machine in half, and they all just like pour out.
Oh, like straight down, not out. Just
It's a cascade.
okay.
It's a cascade.
but it looks
Okay.
nothing like this giant
No.
pile of post-Thanksgiving dinner that Rodolfo landed in. And then had on her, like the only thing I could think for the rest of the scene while she's having this conversation with Santa is she is covered in crap right
Yep.
now. Covered.
Yep.
It's all I thought
And no-
about.
and he doesn't care.
She
No
doesn't.
one's
She's
like,
not like
"What's
trying to
that
wipe it
smell?"
off. She's
They're just used to it.
She's been in that stable for a year. It might be hers.
Yeah.
A year ago,
because she
she's been
turns into a
punished.
deer at the end of the movie.
Oh my gosh. It's somebody's birthday. Oh yeah, it's the
Yep.
dad, Bill.
Yeah.
It's Bill's birthday, and so of course they sing, "We wish you a happy birthday. We wish you
So
a happy
good.
birthday." Ross, do you want me to start singing that to you now on your birthday?
I'm stealing that. I'm gonna start doing that from now on. If we're out of the restaurant, I'm gonna stop everyone halfway through the regular happy birthday song, and we're like, guys, it's in the tune of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
And now, Mark, you and I need to think of what Christmas songs we're gonna change into our happy birthday song.
Merry Christmas, Jackie.
No, it has to be happy birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, holy night, the
Birthday.
night I blow out candles.
Wow, I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm going with that. I'm going to see if Chili's will sing that to me.
Oh man, big old
Oh,
tip.
how about this one? Hark, the herald angel sings, happy birthday to the birthday queen.
I'm in.
Jackie, I love just watching your face, thinking of how do I start this? Do I start with "Merry Christmas"? No. I'll start it how it usually sounds, and then I'll say "Happy Birthday." Double
it's
surprise,
Bill's
guys!
birthday.
We have a double surprise.
Double surprise.
double
A double surprise.
Yeah, who
Which-
is and with the one with the kid in the middle? She's getting
Yes.
it from both ends. She's like, does she know? Does he know? Ooh, espionage.
Which I love this. I really
fun.
like the kid.
Yeah.
The girl kid. I mean, I like them
Yeah.
both. I kind of like everybody except for obviously Rodolfo's evil and Bill
Yeah.
is.
and Bazoo, what's the guy's
Perhaps a cult
Wahoo.
leader.
Wahoo.
Wahoo the
Wahoo.
elf.
And Wahoo.
I
the
like
elf.
It was great.
Oh, Wahoo.
Surprise! All Bill wants for his birthday is a bride.
Is a
Yeah.
yes. Not even like, will
Is
you
a
marry me?
yes.
He didn't really ask. He's like, I'm just asking for a yes.
And if she doesn't
That's what I
know
want.
anything about society or anything,
Nope.
somebody
About
just opens a
anything.
box and says, I want a yes. The question is this a ring?
Yeah.
Like, will you accompany to
this
Mount
mean to me?
Mordor? What is the question?
Yeah. And then this is kind of the jumping off point because it's like, you will get your yes once I find out who I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
even if I don't know how anything works, I know 11 things, and I need to find out the rest of the things in my life. You'll get the yes. I don't know what marriage is, but yes, I will say yes. But I need to find out who I am.
And I need to know, who I was before in order to know whether I want to marry you or not, which is kind of interesting.
I have a
Listen,
question.
I've never lost my memory.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's where I'm at. So she lost her memory. Mm-hmm. We know
she
that.
lost her memory
Did
of
they?
everything before
Did
like
they?
the day.
Somebody mentioned the fire because remember
Yeah.
Uncle Johnny, he's like, maybe there's something in the fire that I can go find.
Yeah.
So they remember.
didn't lose their memory.
Yeah.
They said, we know you from the minute you walked into our house, but all they know of her is when she showed up
Yeah.
in their house. They don't know her past, and she doesn't know her past. And I guess, listen, that would be a haunting question, and I would want to know my past. But if you've been with this man for 2 years, wouldn't you like also know whether you want to commit the rest of your life to him, regardless of whether you were, from wherever, from Brazil or,
Yeah.
like whatever you're going to find out about your past.
Has it been 2 years?
Does it affect
been
how
1
you
year.
feel about this man?
Is that verbalized, or it's been
Well,
a
it's
year
been-
since the fire?
Year since the fire.
It's been 1
Okay.
year since the fire, and then I'm adding a little time.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, you have to, Jackie. At this point, you have to add a little bit.
But you're right.
a
You're
bump.
right. It's a year and 2 weeks
Yeah. Yeah.
because she did meet them 2 weeks before that fire. 2 weeks before deciding, wipe my memory, take away my magic. I'm staying
This
here,
whole
baby.
thing is did you ever see the movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and
Yes,
Kurt Russell?
I love
This is
that
basically
movie.
Overboard, but with a Christmas Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
you are
no
right.
memory. No. We want you to stay here with us. We need you.
Yeah.
You don't know anything of
Yeah.
the outside world. We're gonna keep you
Yes.
here in this mall overnight where all the mannequins are gonna change, and we're gonna evening primrose you into only staying in this building and never leaving.
It's scary. The way that the husband insists in every scene that we have to get married. I
Yeah.
need to have you. It needs to be. And then like at one point they're like, oh, what about now? Like now all we need is, to know my history. And he's like, no, all we need is to know the date.
Yeah.
Because we're meeting up with a wedding planner. And she's like, huh? And he's like, a date. And she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't care. What I care about is finding out my past. Like, you pick the date. And he's like, cool. Christmas. Christmas is like 2 weeks away.
You can plan a wedding that fast. I'm not worried about it. At that point, I was like, great.
I mean,
Honestly, that wedding planner can.
that
They were in good hands.
ascot Billy Porter can do whatever he
I
wants.
thought he was a good actor.
He was fun. Yeah, he was.
There was a small thing, like right before he said, it was really quick backstory before he started getting into his whole spiel of like, oh, I did this, and then I just kind of fell into that. Was it acting or was it, I did? It was really quick. It was like a throwaway line, but it was like his backstory.
The wedding planner?
Yeah. Anyway.
I know.
They're
I
planning.
can't think of it right now.
I thought that was fun. That was a good scene. I wanted a little more of that. Also, there was no payoff. Like, we got to see the wedding happen, but there was no, like, things, like, planned. There wasn't, like, a special, like, a giant ice sculpture or things like they wanted.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
There wasn't, like, the creepy doll of Kristen's.
Oh,
but also
Wasn't, like, displayed somewhere.
you're throwing a wedding on Christmas, and Santa is going to be there, and this is the wedding that you throw.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Come on, man.
Way
Give
to
us some
think
more.
about
Give
your
us some more
family.
details.
Well, and also Christmas.
Also, like, he's going to be exhausted. Like, you couldn't do it the day after
Yeah.
Christmas, give him, like, a little bit of a rest.
they did show.
He's already, dealing with some deterioration of the mind.
Clearly has dementia.
He has some good memory though, because he knows he's naughty and nice. They did a good job of showing how many people would show up to a wedding on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's just a sparsely attended church. Oh my gosh.
I got invited to a good friend's wedding on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it was the Thanksgiving of like, I think it was 2021. So it was like the first Thanksgiving that you might be going home because, you didn't go home during 2020
Yeah.
or a lot of us didn't. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't go and I felt really bad, but
Too bad. Are you still friends with them?
holiday.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Of course.
I mean, you have to.
You have to.
You have to. Anyway,
You have to.
Anyway,
Boundaries are healthy.
the movie still moves on, and so do we.
The movie moves on, and so do we. Now, did you guys understand when Rudolpho was like, "Wahoo, my elf, wahoo, come, chisel these bricks"? Did you know?
No
what was
idea.
happening?
Nope. And
None.
actually, I like that. Looking back, it was
Yeah.
like I was so confused, and I'm like, oh, okay,
So
this
confused
is cool.
to just
Yeah.
see this elf take an ice pick to a, I don't
A
know,
chimney on
2-foot
the ground?
pillar,
It was like a corner of like a small fence or like some sort of like landmark thing. But it was confusing, but it paid off in the end when she said they need to be small enough to fit in the mailbox. And I was so confused. I'm like, he is hitting these bricks and they need to be small enough to put in the mailbox.
What is
But
happening?
her evil plan.
Her evil plan is really unraveled, like, not all at
Yeah.
once. we find out because she's also like the first thing that Santa notices going missing is his quote unquote professional camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that this is also like
Well, hold on, Jackie.
this
What
is
don't you
also a
get?
magic.
What don't you get about that?
Well, it's
Wouldn't
also
you
a
say
magical
that?
camera. This camera is immediately putting what she wants onto Earth TVs.
Every Earth
'cause
TV.
in this
Every
world,
Earth screen. Times
every
Square.
Earth screen. And at normal, and like not consistently at like normal commercial rates, like every half hour.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's kind of happening live. Like while she's performing the first one, the kids are watching it. And by performing the first one, I of course mean the full length song, probably 3 minutes,
Yeah.
Piece of the pole.
by a piece of the pole. She's selling bricks of the North Pole and later everything. Her
Smart.
father's underwear.
Yeah. What?
Smart. Smart. I mean, Evil Planet, make it seem like an infomercial.
Yeah.
Have
You
yourself
can buy
a piece
of the
pole.
North Pole.
Yep.
What a magical gift to give to somebody. I'll give you a little brick, maybe even a toy. And because in her plan, if the pole disappears, so I guess the pole is the things and
Yeah.
it's not the actual land.
Mm-hmm.
If the pole disappears, then Christmas is over.
Yeah.
Christmas is done for. And then she can, and then she can build a North Pole tower with Donald Trump.
Yeah. Well, and then the curse will be broken, and she won't turn into a deer at the end of the movie. That was jarring and it was such like a bad, not the deer thing, the Trump thing was just like, who's she talking to?
I said, am I turning off this movie right
Yeah.
now?
I mean,
And
it
it's
was. I was sitting and just going, no.
What's up with him and fucking Christmas movies?
Yeah. But this is, guys, we have to remember, this is peak The Apprentice.
This is 2001. Yeah.
So he was cool back then.
And he
I
is
hate
a
to admit
bad
it.
guy
I hate
in
to
this
admit it.
movie.
He was cool in our eyes. He was like, oh, he has a TV show. He's kind of like a little rough around the edges, but
He
we didn't
wasn't
think.
cool, but he wasn't a rapist.
Yeah.
You know, like he
Yet.
was.
He was a
quote-unquote-
rapist,
We
but
didn't
we
know
didn't
it
know
yet.
he was
Sure.
a rapist.
This was
Yeah,
back
yeah,
when we were watching Cosby reruns too.
Sure.
Right.
But-
Absolutely.
But he was the asshole. Like his whole thing was he is the person. How do you know that Rodolpha's a villain? She's making a phone call to Donald Trump and selling him the North Pole. That's how you.
Yeah.
That is her opposite
Yeah.
of saving the cat. That is how you know she is if we didn't
And she-
already know that she was the villain.
Which makes him the villain,
Which
too.
makes him a co-villain.
Which, respect.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to have him there, respect.
Can I
Good foresight.
Can I ask y'all a question about just to go back to the recording studio where they're shooting everything? Can we talk about her calling in Mr. Glitch?
Glitch.
He was great.
What a weird
best part of the movie.
The guy is swinging for the fences with this character. It is
And he got the
bonkers.
part.
And it is Mr. Glitch who is like a villain of like, I guess if there's
Like
Santa,
he-
the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy, who I missed seeing in this version. The Tooth Fairy last time was
Yeah.
fun. But of course there's a cabal of baddies too, and Mr. Glitch is the
Well,
guy that makes
he
your
was, like-
electronics not work.
Yeah,
That's
like he
great.
was her personal handyman, but instead of fixing things, he breaks things.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Which is interesting.
Well, and also, did you notice? I mean, their Wi-Fi must have been so good because there was no wire at all on the camera to do that simulcast.
That's the
Magic.
Santa
It
magic
needed to be
cast.
live.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But that's the other thing.
I'll
It's
agree
like,
with that.
how magical is Santa that all of this magic is happening and he doesn't feel it? I would think that he would feel it.
Suspending the disbelief, Jackie.
You're right.
Suspending the
Fuck me.
disbelief.
Well, if this is the Snow Dogs universe, then the magic is inside the snow crystal, not Santa. It wouldn't be inside him. You know what I mean?
You're right.
It'd be held
You're right.
somewhere else.
It's inside the hypnotherapist.
Mark, we watch a lot of movies.
You really do. Yeah. Yeah, it's
It
impressive.
would be inside that crystal at the hypnotherapy therapist's office.
Oh,
yeah.
she was great.
Kristen goes on a journey to try to find her past.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, even before we get to the awesome hypnotherapist, her daughter figures out immediately, is just like, well, Kristen Claus,
Yeah.
that's Santa Claus's daughter.
Well,
That's why she doesn't remember.
She doesn't figure it out immediately because first there's that scene where she's cold calling Mexico and I had to write this down because she just cold calls Mexico. And imagine if you are at home and someone calls you and says, "Do you know Kristen Claus?" You say, "I'm sorry, I don't." And she responds with, quote, "Are you sure? This is really important. She's going to be our mom."
She's going to be our mom.
If someone is cold calling you and you have that
Terrifying.
conversation, what are they just burdening you with?
I'm calling 911. I'm
or
saying,
whatever the
"Good
Mexican
God,
equivalent of 911 is.
You're calling 911 on a phone call.
No.
Oh man. Hey, during that scene that she was making the sugar cookies, putting the sprinkles on, can we just talk like 3 to 9 seconds about that tile island in that kitchen? That kitchen was so like late 90s.
I was staring at that
yellow
kitchen,
trim.
being like, I
Back.
think I like
It
this.
brought everything back. I was like, oh, I remember like a few of my friends' homes were like this.
Oh yeah.
It was
And I think I like it.
yeah, white tile, and it would be like a sunburnt orange like trim.
Yeah.
And
We had that white tile countertop, I remember. And then I remember when we updated it.
yeah,
But, grout where you're preparing food
Yeah.
is not the smartest call.
No.
Is not the cleanest
No.
call.
no, we live in an older place now, and our countertops are tile, and the grout
Are tile.
Yeah, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's flat. Like
Nope. Mine is. I'm on tile as
That
well.
cutting board.
My microwave has a little bit of rock to
Yeah.
it, and you always there's always a cutting board down anytime you're using it as any sort of surface.
Yes, yeah.
It is not a surface. It's a surface that you put a surface on because it's tile,
Right.
And grout on a kitchen.
I want to talk about the other time that we see Kristen in the in the kitchen. It's actually when she sees Rodolfo's infomercial for the first time. But it's like in the middle of the night, she cannot sleep. She's going to put on the electric kettle. And she's out there. Again, everyone is asleep. So we have to assume it's like midnight. She was once in bed and was just tossing and turning and got up. We have to assume that because she's also in this big poofy robe.
And her hair looks great though for having.
But
tossed.
her hair!
I think that was Kathy saying, "I need to look right."
The
Yeah,
hair was something
Yeah.
yeah.
else.
I mean, her hair. This
Well-
whole
That's it.
movie is spectacular.
Maybe she
Some
sleeps
might
standing
say
up.
bouffant.
Yeah, it's so
I
bouffant.
think bouffant is the perfect way to describe this hair. This is what happens to my hair, but in a less uniformed way. But people are always like, "Why don't you brush your hair? Why don't you brush curly hair?" You know why I don't brush curly hair? Because it's going to be bouffant.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be bouffant like Kathy Ireland in uniform. It's just going to be it's going to look like Hermione in the 6th movie when she's having trouble making the potions.
Standing over the thing.
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
All puffed up.
Exasperated.
Oh, guys. When the elves are stealing shit from... I don't even know if they're stealing shit from Santa at this point. But anyways, they steal stuff from right under his nose.
Yeah.
They don't wait for him to be in a different room. Very weird. But at some point, Santa's, talking to his wife in his room. And they're getting ready for bed. And he's opening up his drawer where someone maybe would have socks. And he just has a fuck ton of playing card decks. Did you guys notice
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I think that's his go-to. I think that's the go-to gift.
Playing cards.
Playing card decks.
Yeah.
Playing card decks. But it wasn't stacks.
Yeah.
It wasn't it was just a good amount, but a weird amount for anyone to have in a bedroom drawer.
Were they personalized or were they just regular bicycle rider backs?
One of them was a bicycle for sure. One of them was just gray. You'll have to go back.
I'll have to go back and look at that. The thing I noticed about that I found a little jarring about the elves was you've got a bunch of little people dressed all in white with pointy white hoods. They looked it looked like Santa's army of tiny Klansmen.
I was disturbed by the costumes. I was
jarring. I was
this-
sparkly little Klansmen everywhere at the North Pole.
Weren't they in red and green? The first one?
I think they were.
I don't remember them in I remember traditional colors.
Yeah.
For some
Also,
reason.
why are they in all white
Yeah.
if they're working for Rodolfo and they're evil?
Yeah. I don't know. Look.
You don't need to do this.
We
You
don't-
don't need to have this pointy white hat.
Maybe when it's Rodolfo in the scene, then it makes sense. Here's the evil one with this army of tiny Klansmen. Put him in red
It's
and
just
green.
making sense. The Trump of it all is really
of
getting
it all.
tied together with these little mini
Yeah.
Klansmen. I have to go back, not go back because whatever, who cares? But the wedding planner, when they meet with the wedding planner at the church, which I know a lot of people who had church weddings. They would never have their first meeting with the wedding planner at the
No.
church.
Have
But
it at a
whatever,
brunch.
who cares? How about at a brunch? How about at an office? How much, if you were that wedding planner, how much would you fear for Kristen's life when every time he asked her, like, okay, great, and how about you? Any bridesmaids? His daughter. Anybody else? I don't know anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Family?
Holy
Nope,
moly.
don't got it. And he's like, I have family. Like, I've got friends. Like, don't worry, we're going to have people here. And they're like, anybody on your side? She's like, no. This just seems so hostage.
Okay.
It
He
just
should have
feels
a
like
button
Belle
under the
and
table that
Beast.
he's pressing repeatedly.
Right. Okay. Good. I'm just gonna pause. This is a question just for me. How do we meet? How did you two meet?
I walked into his house.
Okay. Great. I'm just gonna make a phone call real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I need you both to stay here and not move. I'm going to make a
Because,
phone
you know,
call.
they say in cults, like that why cults are successful is they isolate you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
from anybody, you know, they isolate you from your family, your friends, like they make you into an island with just you and the cult leader or the cult members. So now these are your only people to really know and bounce ideas off of, and no one's saying this is weird because they're all on board, and they, you know, they isolate you and they kind of make you cut ties. And so it just felt so wild. But it's okay because she's in the church and that's her next thing. She tried hypnotherapy with this crystal, and now she's going to try praying with the candles.
Can I ask a question while we are on this particular topic?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Kathy Ireland, and I might be wading into some waters here. I don't know a ton about Kathy Ireland. Do you know if she is a particularly religious person? Because there was a
Interesting.
lot of this movie that felt like it was it felt like a sermon that they had just replaced God or Jesus with Christmas.
Oh, God, Mark, I actually
You
just
know what?
Googled, is Kathy Ireland religious?
I did too.
And this is what it
Oh,
says.
no. What does it say?
She is a devout Christian and
Uh-oh.
an anti-abortion advocate.
So she did like a big Q&A on Christianity Today.
Today?
The
In
magazine.
2009. It's called Christianity Today.
Oh,
in
oh,
2009. That is confusing.
That was a
I
great
agree.
little who's on
I
first
agree.
moment,
I
though.
confused. Yeah, it was. I was like, I might go with this, but we don't have time. And she does get into her past life
Okay.
and now her current life. I think a lot of
As
times
in a past life, like,
modeling, wearing
like-
swimsuits, like
Oh,
living that
okay, got
Hollywood
it.
fast.
Oh,
Not
that's
like
true.
not like
Past
past
life.
lives, as in the movie where he's like, I was
as in
Yes.
the movie. Yeah.
And that's, I think,
I
what
was a general.
a lot of people that find faith later in life, especially if they live like hard and fast, that is like their
Yes.
past life. That's what they consider their past life.
Gotcha.
And so
Oh, yeah.
she talked about like her modeling career in Hollywood and all this stuff. And now she wants to make this is 2009, so this is a little after this, but I think she wants to make more of these faith and family movies. So I think she was at this time. I don't know. There's not a date when she found the
She must have been.
when she found the Lord. But holy cow! She didn't become a Christian until she turned 18. She went to church and then she stopped going, and then that's when she started. So yeah, she's always done it, but she fell away. Now she's back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
but yeah,
This
she
is
does.
a
But
strong journey for her.
and also she plays this character in this movie very Christian.
Yeah.
Like, you would believe her to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm a Christian. You're like, yeah, we know.
I mean, like, yeah, like there are. If you believe good things will happen or whatever, like the quote for the movie is that keeps coming back. It just feels like
Yep.
it should have.
Remember to hope and trust.
Kristen 3:16 after it. Yeah.
Yes, the verbiage, yes.
Santa 12:25.
Yeah. Are you Santa's daughter or are you
Yeah.
Jesus's?
There's so, and then she has that monologue at the end where we'll get to that. I don't want to jump too far ahead. Where she's on.
I don't mind.
No, we can bounce around.
Great.
Yeah.
The monologue where
Bounce
she's
around.
sitting, like where she's trying to get the whole world to send back the
Yes.
pieces, and like
Her own
it's
infomercial.
her. She does her own infomercial, which is First of all, it totally feels like a sermon saying just
A
as long as you
televangelist.
believe. And then at the end, she just repeats believe over and over again. Like,
Hold your pieces. Believe,
I mean,
believe.
it looked like she forgot her lines and was just repeating believe. I was like, did Kathy
Believe,
forget her
believe.
lines? And it was just a long day, so they were like, forget it, fine.
Oh, or was she possessed? I
was
don't know.
the spirit taker.
Did the spirit take her? Wow.
Anyway,
So
I
she doesn't.
mean-
She doesn't know anything. So she goes to take a driving test with, and you know this driving instructor that was.
It means a lot
audition.
to her that she drives. It means a lot to
Yes.
her that she drives.
Yep. And so she drives, and you have the classic panicky driver school teacher who nails it, but also like all these side characters are swinging for the fences, and I guess that's what you have to do to be in these made-for-TV movies.
Yeah.
Just you have a life, and a lot of
I
times
would have
like,
a blast.
acting teachers are like, hey, just so you know, like you had a life, and you're not like a part of this movie, like you're part of your own movie, so you're popping in. And Mr. Glitch and this driving instructor both were a part of their different movies. And they're like interacting with this movie, but they're in a different movie.
she was
So-
great. She was
That's
so
a really
fun.
good.
She was great, and that's the way you see the pen magic, but also she fails parallel parking because that wasn't parallel parking.
No,
you just
it
backed
wasn't.
in.
And they sped up the video so it made the car look like it was going faster. And they did no damage to the car because they did not hit the pole.
The jump cuts in that were so funny to me because I've done a few stunts and things, and you just know that the leads are always like, "I'll do the stunt. Let me do the stunt." But like how they do the stunt because the lead is in there is totally different than how if they'd had the stunt double in. So
Yeah.
they have to they have to jerk it around a little bit.
I mean-
and I was like, "Oh, Kathy wanted to be in the car the whole time because it like you could tell like everyone faked getting hit, and then how she hit the snow." It just they didn't show it hitting.
No.
It was so funny to me. They just showed inside the car.
Yeah.
Them reacting.
They showed-
I was like,
they
oh,
showed it
Kathy
hitting.
she wanted to do her stunt.
Oh my God. And you know what? Nailed it. No notes.
It was awesome.
One of my favorite fast forward moments of this movie was when Rudolpha tells her elf henchman, "Hurry up!" You know, they're doing whatever. "Hurry up!" And then she leaves the room, and then all of a sudden, they literally press fast
Yeah.
forward on this VHS.
That was one of those strange moments too, where it was like, now these elves, when she leaves the room, they're in a different movie.
Yep.
What are the
And we
rules
never
of
saw it
magic
again.
in this world? And also,
Never saw it again. Don't need
why
to.
have they been
No,
walking
when are they gonna
around
do it?
like a chain gang if they can do it that quickly?
Okay, so the children end up getting on board. Like the brother gets on board. The children are like, "Yes, we fully believe that Kristen is Santa Claus's dad because what they order from the pole we thought was just a brick, but what they end up getting is Kristen's like childhood doll."
What are the chances?
But did they order the doll, or they were just like, throw this in there?
I think it's
like,
just a piece of the pole. And they seem to
Just a
order
piece-
a
you don't
dozen
even-
pieces of the pole.
That's right, because they ordered a
Yeah.
bunch.
This
They
family
were
is
like,
this
is
family
gonna
has
be-
coin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were like, this is gonna be a great sorry. Kristen loves Christmas. Like, I think she'd love a piece of the pole. And they're like, you know what, Dad would too. You know what? I think everybody would. You know what? This is where we're getting all of our gifts.
Yeah.
They find this doll. Incredible. And like basically that's why Kristen getting the doll is what like brings back her
Yeah.
memory.
Sure.
And she's like, what's happening? And she finds out about the pole. And the kid's like, it's a piece of the pole. Everyone has a piece of the pole. They're the hottest thing. Like, they're like the fucking Tickle Me Elmo.
You haven't
And she's
tried
like,
piece
give
of
me the car
pole?
keys.
Yeah.
Give me the car keys now. And she knows how to drive.
Yeah.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Wait, also, if she had this, the end of the first movie has this sacred contract with Santa of you will forget everything. And all she had to do was see one of her childhood toys to suddenly remember her entire life. Everything that ever happened.
She didn't just
Yeah.
get a glimpse or a glimmer. She remembered
Yeah.
everything.
If I saw my
she remembered
plush
the fire.
Alf from when I was a kid and suddenly I remembered every day of my life and how to drive and all of my magic, now I want my Alf
That
back.
would be very cool.
I'd be scared.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
very
I'd be very
cool.
scared.
Yeah. Yeah, the rush of information
then-
that comes into your head all at once.
Like you took the Limitless pill because you looked at the Elf doll.
And this is when, this is when her magic comes back, and we don't really understand that logic, but, it doesn't matter. We're going to suspend. And she's like, we have to go back to the pole. What do you mean these are the hottest thing? Like, we have to go save the pole. Which, what's so interesting is this, as subliminally or not Christian this movie is, it's also, to me, the message that they gave me as to what the meaning of Christmas is, toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole North Pole is just physical things. And once those things are sold, once those toys and those bricks are sold, then Christmas is over because Christmas is just the gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought, I was like, this is a bad Christmas. This is not what Christmas is.
No.
This is not what I want my movie to tell me what Christmas is.
This movie tells you that Christmas is a money grab because this movie is a money grab.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there wasn't. I think she tried to do it, but at the end, Kathy Ireland talking about Christmas and believing, it wasn't. I wish they hit it harder where it's like it's not about stuff.
Right.
give
They
the
should have
stuff
hit
back.
that harder.
It's not about
yeah,
stuff.
It's not about that. It's about the feeling. It's about like being with your friends and your
Because
loved ones. Yeah. It wasn't hit that
At
hard.
the end of the
Yeah.
day, her whole televangelism, believe, was still
Yeah.
to get these pieces of the pole back to the pole. Like, it was still to
Yeah,
acquire
can I have my stuff
the
back?
physical goods.
It's not
Yeah.
about the
that's
stuff, so
funny.
can I have the stuff?
Oh, that's super funny. Right.
It
Right.
was if you hold it and say believe, then it can all go back, and then Christmas can still happen because Christmas is the gift.
Because I need my stuff back.
Yeah, I need my factory back to make you your toys. But it sounds like
so she,
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, please.
Well, it sounds also like this that they don't necessarily need the factory element of it because at one point
It's all
Santa
magic.
Santa is calling a distributor and he asks for 5 million of some toy and then he's like and put it in a bottomless box. And like,
What are you-
okay,
what are the
who are you
penguins like this
calling?
year?
What
Right.
factory uses Santa as a contractor? Like what is going on? What are the rules?
Man, Mark.
Bless this mess.
Jackie, Mark, I'd like to see that movie.
Yeah. That would
I
be
wanna see
the
that
That would be cool.
subcontracted claws factory, but it's all humans. Oh, I
wanna
love
see
that.
that.
The
Yeah.
dark side of Christmas.
Oh my god. Anyway, sorry.
They try to unionize halfway through the movie.
Kristen magics them into the North Pole very easily. Not only does she get her magic back, she understands fully how to use it, what she can do. Like, she does not struggle with can I do this? No, she knows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. We all hold hands, and I'm just gonna magic us to the North Pole.
Mary Poppins
which, in the
style.
reality of this movie, is in a different world.
Yep.
Like, is not on the planet Earth.
No.
No.
It's what is
I
It's,
wish.
I don't know. Is it in a different realm? Is it in a different dimension? Or is it just floating up in space? Who knows? But
Yeah.
Bill doesn't believe. He's being a little bitch about going to the North Pole. And he gets left
I
behind.
kind of
But
love
don't worry.
that. Just as a
I liked
moment of
that
like, if we
too.
all believe, we'll all go. And then that's the first time I think I've seen like half the people go, and then one guy's like, "Oh crap, I didn't believe," and
And he
everyone
lied,
wait a second,
too.
hold on. Wait a second. Wait.
And
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I'm never gonna be able to kiss her again.
It's true because he quickly, how quickly he believes after
Oh.
he's left behind.
So fast. So fast.
And how quickly he too was just like, all right, well, I guess I just hold this doll and believe, and I'll just get transported. How is that? So the magic is the magic Kristen? Is the magic the doll?
It's belief,
Yeah.
but also Uncle Johnny's just sitting there.
It's belief.
He's on the couch.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, man, we only have you for like this is kind of your last day at work because we can't really afford it. So you're just
Uncle
gonna stay here.
Johnny
You're not
is
gonna go to
a
North Pole."
prop.
Yeah. And yet,
Which is a bummer because he was a lot of fun in the first one. Mark, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
well, he's competent in this one in the same way that he's competent with a flat tire in the first one. He's competent in this one when they're like,
Right.
they give him a task and he's like, okay, I will complete my task, which is trying to figure out who Kristen is. And they act like it's womp womp. He didn't find out who she was. No, he eliminated every possibility except the North Pole. That is, he did a commendable job.
I called
Yeah, he did.
400,000 people.
Yeah. I woke up some lady in Mexico and told her that she was going to be these kids' mom, and even that didn't work.
I'm giving out family secrets.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no one needs to know this information. I'm doing my best over here. So they're back in North Pole. They realize, this is not the North Pole I remember. This is not the North Pole I grew up in. What's going on? It's very dark. I kind of wanted to see more of this in the movie. I know the magic happened later on. In my opinion, go time, magic time, hold on to my hand, we're going to the North Pole. I wish it happened like 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
That way we could have seen how really dark and bad things got at the North Pole.
Yeah.
I would love to see Mr. Glitch do a lot more things like messing with CD players, like people's CD players and things like that. Like, just to show like how bad it's really getting.
Yeah.
But they get there and within 37 seconds, everything's fixed.
Things are because she already did her infomercial.
Yeah,
and
right,
everyone believes
right.
the North Pole pieces are flying back like asteroids.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing all those bricks flying back, getting made into a wall?
But Santa's leaving. Then they find Santa. He's like packing up. He's leaving. He's like, everyone left, and everyone left. There's like gonna be a new Santa. He says something like, when they don't want you anymore.
Yeah. Who?
And I'm like, whoa. So are the rules that when they stop believing in you, another like a better Santa comes around, like another, like it gets passed on, like the Santa-ness of it all?
Yeah.
Because he said new Santa. He said there's a new Santa. So it's not that Christmas is over. It's not that Santa's over. His reign.
Yeah, I like the idea that there are petty children out there who are like, no, I still believe in Santa. I just don't believe in this Santa.
This one. The reindeer were sold. I mean,
Sold to
Rudolph
Ohio.
really.
Right.
I sold the
There are
reindeer to a villain in Ohio. I watched
There
that
are
movie.
so many like tiny
That is a
specifics
great
that are just like
movie.
throwaway lines where you're like, oh, this is funny to the people writing this. It's not like a universal like, oh, this is a joke. This is like, oh, I'm gonna tell my friend. I have a friend, Brian Donnelly, who lives in Ohio, and when this line, I'm gonna tell him it's him.
Oh my god.
Ay, ay, ay. Of course, all of this is happening, again, we already knew this, but there's like a mock-up of Rudolpha and Donald's Hotel and Casino, which is going to go where the North Pole, like on top of the North Pole, but we've also already established that the North Pole is not on Earth.
Which is weird.
And that you can't just get there.
But will they magic people up there? Like,
Yeah,
Who
because
knows?
I don't even get into it. Are they all giving little dolls?
yeah, everybody gets a doll with Santa 1225 verse written on her wrist.
Yeah, it wasn't even like. Yeah, they could have had that at like the town square or like
Santa
where the trees are.
1225. That would be such a funny tattoo to get. Or like, you know how Tim Tebow used to put under his eyes?
Yeah, John 3:16.
Like
Oh yeah,
That'd be-
John 3:16. Yeah,
That'd be a really fun, like,
Santa 1225.
That's really
yeah,
funny.
just for the holidays.
for the whatever team is playing on Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
Gosh.
Okay.
I mean, did we miss anything?
No, I mean,
it's-
if I did, it's okay.
If I did, it's okay.
If I did, it's okay.
I feel like a lot
Well,
happened in this movie.
We have the
Lot happened.
wedding.
Well, hold on. Well, the wedding happened, and
Oh
then we
my
have
God,
a little,
the wedding.
We have a
I-
little
I
tiff.
missed the wedding.
We have a little tiff between the parents, which is very fun.
We have a full Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf scene between the two sets of parents.
But also, this is their first time meeting.
Yeah.
And by parents,
At
we
the
mean
wedding.
Santa, Mrs. Claus, who doesn't have
Yeah,
a name,
and
then
Stockholm
Bill's
Syndrome's parents.
And the
Yeah,
Beast's
the Beast-
parents.
Isn't it Clara? Clara Claus? Don't they say her first
Clara
name?
Claus, yeah.
Yeah, Clara Claus. Yeah,
Clara.
Mrs. C.
Wow.
she's
Like
had her
the
clothes for a long
Nutcracker.
time.
It's the Nutcracker. It's
Yeah.
a shout out to that's so cool. I love that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little girl in the Nutcracker's Clara.
And then we get a picture together. Uncle Johnny does a little fun thing. We get another smooch for the road, and then we have to do that take of 8 to 11 more times to get it right.
I mean,
and then
The parents fight about, like, don't they fight about, like, what do they fight
it's
about?
about being on the
I just
naughty or
remember-
nice list.
Yeah.
And Santa said to Bill's dad, "And you've been naughty this year." He's like, "Wait, why? How could you say that?" He's like, "Well, I know."
Yeah.
And he's like, "How dare you? How dare you?" And then They try to smooth it
right.
over, but it's still weird.
And his parents are jerk,
Okay.
or his dad is a jerk.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
His dad is a jerk.
Yeah.
Jerk. 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 You know that song,
I
right?
don't,
The jerk?
To not know that song.
I don't know that song, but just witnessed something happen.
Well, some people will get it, and some people
I
won't.
don't.
That was Twice Upon a Christmas.
Twice upon a Christmas.
Jackie, do you want to start us off, and then Mark, and then I'll close it up, or how do we want to do this?
Whew. Has anyone thought about their rating already?
Had it within 5 minutes. I'm watching this.
Okay,
thing.
so I want you to go first because
Okay.
I honestly have not even thought about trying to wrap my mind around giving this a certain amount of reindeer.
Twice Upon a Christmas, 2001. Kathy Ireland and the guy that was in 188 episodes of Touched by an
Seventh
Angel.
Oh, Touch My Angel. That was it.
I didn't know that they needed to make a second of this movie. Didn't know that we needed more story with it. We knew everything that we needed to know, but they're like, nope, we need to see her in our world more, which I think is fine. I wanted more of her goofing up, a lot more Amelia Bedelia moments. Would have been fun. Her just not getting the world. We have a lot of magic. We have snow.
A lot of magic.
We have Santa. There's a lot of these movies have characters that I just want to see more of. And there were some movies here that, or some characters here that I wanted to see a lot more of. I wanted to see a lot more Uncle Johnny. I think the producers were like, I think we're just going to have him back because we need him back. I wanted a lot more kids stuff. The kids kind of mellowed out from the first one. A lot more, Amelia Bedelia moments. I wanted more Santa. Rodolpha, I wanted her like interacting with our world. That would have been fun. Anyway, I liked it. I'm going to say it. I liked it. I mean, it's not my favorite movie, but I'm like, this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah.
Out of 8 reindeer, I mean, I liked it, but I'm giving it 4 out of 8. I'm giving it 4 out of 8.
Yeah.
That's
And I think
generous.
it's because of Kathy Ireland. She's just so likable in this movie.
Yeah.
I think there are certain people, if other people acted this way in a movie, I'd be like, no, nope, no thanks. But how she does it, it's like, oh, yeah, I would hang out with this person. I would spend the holidays with you.
Yeah.
You just seem so affable. And
It's very pure
and
of
great.
heart.
Yes, very pure of heart. It's going to the nice. Only the nice would get, because the naughty would tear this apart. So nice.
Mark,
Mark?
how do you feel? Would you like to go next or would you like me to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
It's tough for me with this movie because I try to look at it objectively. And I tried to look at Once Upon a Christmas objectively. And Once Upon a Christmas won me over. In its charm, in its pure lunacy, but it was still tethered to something. This felt completely untethered, and consequently, I think it, to my mind, is half the movie that Once Upon a Christmas was. So I'll go back and look at whatever I gave Once Upon a Christmas, and it's half of that, which I think was a 4. So this gets a 2. That said, I would, for the same reasons as you, only give it to someone on the nice list. Because for someone who is willing to look past for someone who is willing to suspend that much disbelief in a movie that says believe that many times, that movie is asking a lot, and I will give it to people on the nice list who are willing to believe
Smart.
anything.
Go on that journey.
I like that.
Wow. Here's the thing about Twice Upon a Christmas. I had a good time watching it. It was very entertaining. It kept my attention. I was never bored. I was never angry. I was laughing and having a good time the whole time. You know how sometimes I get angry, Ross, because I'm mad at this movie for not being good. And I didn't feel that way with this movie because it was so crazy. It was like the perfect amount of wild that it was funny. So I really liked that. And yes, it had Christmas, it had Santa, it had magic up the butt. But at the end of the day, I so detested and disagreed with the message of what Christmas is that was presented in this movie, which was Christmas is physical objects, Christmas is gifts. I just am shocked that a movie's about Christmas entire message of Christmas would be that I can't give this more than 2 reindeer.
Wow.
I have to give it 2, and I'm giving it 2 because of all those other reasons that I did like it.
Yeah.
And and it was funny and fun and wild, and had all the criteria, except for love. But no. Like, I can't with their message of Christmas. So, and also for that reason, I'm giving it to the naughty.
Okay. Wow.
Donald Trump alone, I'm giving it to the naughty.
Yeah.
Naughties
It does
will
feel
like
like
it.
the elephant in the room with this movie.
I guess.
You keep forgetting, and don't
Yeah.
forget. And again, it's I don't know. It's like it's not their fault, but at the same time, like, he was never once.
Never, but
was I like, Donald Trump is a good guy.
No. I think it was like he was like tolerated. You know what I mean? Because he was in the public eye. He was in pop culture. He was tolerated.
Yes, he was.
And then,
He was in everything.
And then it shifted big time. Mark, it's funny that you mentioned your Elf doll, because I actually have it right here.
Wait.
Here's your Elf doll. And Jackie,
Wow.
I know all the time
Oh my-
you're talking about
How did
your speak and spell that you put glitter on when you were a kid. And
Oh my
I
God.
didn't bring that, but I did bring
You didn't?
your Raggedy Ann doll that you had when you were a kid. So here you go.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Thank
you.
Oh my God, I remember everything. I
He-
remember
he's running
everything
away.
now.
Mark just sprinted
Goodbye
away and
forever.
He just got
My
into
parents
that
divorced. My
Corolla,
parents
and he
divorced.
just sped off.
That's so fucked up.
Jeez. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, me and my memories.
Wait, I can just hear your voice. You're gone. It's just me standing alone.
We believe.
We believed, we saw it, and we did it. Holy cow, are you okay?
Yeah.
You like flew.
Yeah,
in
some.
that thing.
You know what? I got some of that elf like shoot really fast when no one's
Yeah.
looking magic, and as soon as no one was looking, I shot back here real fast.
Man, great parallel parking job too.
Thanks. I hit that pole.
Yeah, oh yeah, no sweat. Mark, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh man, you
where
guys are
people
a
can
delight.
find you?
Find
Where
me.
can people find you online?
I am at Mark Gags on Twitter and Instagram. And Blood and Treasure season 1 and 2 available on Paramount Plus if you have it. If you don't have Paramount Plus, available on Amazon Prime.
Oh my God, amazing.
Great. That's awesome.
And we got this with Mark and
And we
Hal.
got this with Mark and Hal. New episodes of the podcast dropping every week.
Incredible.
We've been going
love it.
we're about to drop our 400th episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. We're hoping to get a
What's your
season 2. So we'll see.
What was your most recent episode?
Our most recent episode, last night we recorded, it's not out yet, but last night we recorded what is the greatest short-lived television series taken before its time of all time.
Okay, but how short-lived?
One season. We were like maybe
One
2
season.
seasons. If it's one that was
Damn.
really could have gone on forever, we'll give it 2 seasons. But I was of the opinion that it needed to be a 1-season show, and the one that ultimately won was.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm going to I don't want any
No
spoilers.
spoilers.
I'm very invested in this.
Please come on.
I'm very invested
Yeah.
in this. I'm going to be listening.
I have a few guesses, but I'm going to keep it to myself. Freaks
Oh
and
my
Geeks?
gosh.
Or Trophy
that one
Wife?
season?
No, that was 2 seasons.
I loved
Trophy Wife with
Trophy Wife was
Malin
great.
Ackerman? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I also really liked? Better Off Ted.
I never saw Better Off Ted.
Oh, no.
Good?
I haven't seen it in a long time, but when I watched it, it was funny. I remember it being funny.
I know my father-in-law
Is it
loves
good?
Firefly, and that was only 1 season.
Yeah,
but
Firefly.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, people
Mark,
love
thanks
Firefly.
so much for
thank you
coming on.
guys.
This was great.
Always
this was
a
great. And
pleasure.
if they make a third one of these, they might wait like about 20 years and make another one. You got to come back on.
Thrice
Talk
upon a
about-
Christmas, I'm ready.
Wow, thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Jackie, we'll see
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everybody.
been listening to an Audio Wool original produced by Byron McKoy. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.